Disneyland, the overpriced food at the overpriced raw eggs, and to mention it costs you nearly a fortune to get in. Currently there was a boy who was a big fan of moemon sitting in Disneyland's detention center here and want to go on any of the ride needs. He more or less wanted to relax on his summer vacation and play moemon. He knew that his most evolved moemon were far better looking than any princess that Disney had to offer, and way more fun too. He was not happy to be there. The sister threw a tantrum earlier over wanting to meet her favorite Disney princess, something that indirectly got the boy locked up in the detention center and his laptop confiscated. As these things tend to go, he was not in a happy manner. "Let me out in costumed jerks. They just evolved my category. Evolve into a lackism," the boy screamed out. Disney's security, however, was not in the mood to listen. But, as these things go, with the boy's laptop sat in the convention center, and as it sat there, the costumed moemons who constructed it, the thing, were apparently too stupid to turn it all off, as the screen began to glow an ominous purple glow. As the boy's moemon began to emerge from the laptop one by one, the members of Disney's security who actually saw this happen ran out scared, praying that it was all just a horrible nightmare. But unbeknownst to them, Disneyland's ultimate PR nightmare had just begun. "We must find Master Venusaur," said. "I'll find him using my psychic powers," Alakazam replied. "But they won't just let him go. Not unless we cause some trouble," Jengar said. "Then, let's go make some trouble," Gyarados replied. And so Venusaur and Florian went off on a two-woman mission to rescue their master, while the other members of their team deciding to instigate the worst possible public relations scenario Disneyland would ever face. In the middle of Disneyland times, the little girls who forced their parents to take them there, including the boy's sister, were ecstatic to get their photos taken with their favorite Disney princesses. As moemon lurked in the shadows, one of the actresses dressed up as Cinderella was about to go out and have her photos taken with the little girls, but what she didn't know was she was in for a really big and identity-stealing surprise, as she couldn't get out of her chair. The former moemon stepped into the room. "Don't bother, I used disable to turn off the part of your brain that would allow you to get up," Alakazam said. "You're up, slime girl," Jengar said in a smug tone. "Don't call me that," Jirto replied, as she transformed into the actress wearing her Cinderella costume outside in the bustling theme park that was Disneyland. Who these little girls thought was Cinderella came to take their picture with them, when she stepped on one of their feet, causing that little girl to cry, as she then got punched. The girl's mother right in the stomach, kneed her in the face, and then shoved her backwards. The man in the Mickey Mouse suit instantly grabbed a hold of her when suddenly he was grabbed from behind by Gyarados and tossed directly into the air. Meanwhile, Venusaur and Florian were breaking into Disneyland's detention center. "Master better be in here," Florian said. "Don't worry, Alakazam's clairvoyance has never been wrong yet," Venusaur replied. At another part of the park, Wayfarer other girls were about to get their pictures taken with Rapunzel, one of the latest additions to the Disney princess roster, who more or less was just standing there with a vacant stare on her face, as Jenger was using hypnosis to lure her into a hypnotic trance and then jumps directly into her, seizing full control of her body. She glared at the girls for the scary expression on her face. "Free the master," she said. Menacingly, the looks on the girls' faces instantly turned to ones of fear, as suddenly a mishmash of colors, dark red, said light purple and yellow lights began to flash around them, as many of them fell into a deep trance, and it seems as if the actress playing the part of the Rapunzel was now levitating in the air. A man grabbed a hold of his daughter as she blacked out. "What kind of fucked up performances is this?" he said, and suddenly balls of energy that looked like they came directly out of the color version of the Dragon Ball Z manga began to gather around her. "Free the master and maybe I want the souls of your daughters," she said. She was lying, of course, but that didn't stop the least man in the crowd from screaming out the word succubus at the top of their lungs. Venusaur and Florian finally found their master locked up in Disney's detention center. They were quick to explain who they were and why they were there. The boy, he really didn't get what was going on. He truly believed he had fallen asleep and that this was all just a dream. If it was going to get him back on and on his laptop, he wasn't going to question it. His sister, on the other hand, would not want to leave Disneyland. She had thrown nothing short of a pink stink to get there, and leaving after 48 hours wouldn't resort in anything but a temper tantrum. She was currently in one of the crowds watching every creation of Walt Disney's 1937 classic Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, when Jenger had long since grown weary of the body she had taken possession of. She sought a new body, a body that she could use to mess with her master's spoiled little sister, and when she saw the perfect candidate, as the actress who played the dearest Snow White lead there, Jenger floated off without being seen, knowing she took something to make the performance more realistic in her body, perfect for possession, so she just jumped into her body. When the actor playing the prince stepped on stage, she knocked him backwards, hopped off the stage, and approached her master's parents and sister. Venusaur and Florian had gotten their master into the office of Disneyland's manager to strike a deal like, "I want to leave, send me and my family back to our hotel. That's all you got to do, and this whole PR nightmare will come to an end, I promise," the boy said. As for his family, Jenger and her new body deciding that she could be a lot more to her master than just a mere minion, as she instantly began to flirt with the boy's father, trying to convince him to dump his wife for her. "Wow, I get a new princess, Mommy," the spoiled little sister asked. "Stuff, if brat. After the marriage, either your real mother keeps you or I send you to military school." A look of shock and dread emerged in the little girl's face. Back in Disney's detention center, the boy gave Disneyland security one final ultimatum: "Send me and my family out the snorefest you call an amusement park and all, and the PR nightmare. This is your last warning, because I still have a moemon who hasn't made an appearance in your crappy parking yet." The boy and his family were swiftly escorted out of Disneyland. The boy, he played moemon on his laptop. His spoiled sister sat there with an enraged scowl on her face. Goodbye. As he went through his moemon that he noticed something. Jenger's sprites now resembled somewhat of an anime version of the diversion of Snow White from Disney's 1937 animated film.